try that again with the mic on. Hello everybody, welcome to the Aquarium Adventures live stream. We're here, it's Friday night, it's 9 PM. Let's have a little chat, shall we? How is everyone doing tonight? I like to start the evening by just checking that everyone can hear and see me, so we'll wait and see if we get any comments as such. Pardon me. NGW, hello from Doncaster, hello from Sheffield. Who else have we got in tonight so far? We've got Rockies, Skillers here. Danny Boy 1587 says hello and happy Friday. Leanne, evening everyone. Luke Alderink, I keep wanting to say something else there. My brain is tricking me. Leanne's still here saying evening everyone. Hello Leanne. David's in. Anna Scott says yes, please remember to click that like button on your way in. In fact, shall we try some of my buttons, see if they work? Yay! Almost. Sort of. And then I have to remember to turn it off again. So click the subscribe button, click the like button, click it. If there's a thing you can click it. It all helps. Hans. Hello Hans. Hans Hartman. I always want to say Hans Gruber, but that's be very unfair on you. Although that is an excellent baddie. I can't offhand think of any other Hansies that aren't terrible. He's a good baddie, I guess. That's what I'm trying to say. How have I got onto a tangent so early on? Courtney, good evening Courtney and Callum. Team Smith on board tonight. Nice to see you again. Mary Rhodes, happy Friday. Lanks Fishkeeper, Jennifer's in. Hello Jennifer, long time no see. Silver Surfer, he's here. Nice to see you. Phil, good evening Phil. Phil, I have some apologies to make to Phil. Phil very kindly offered to come and help me lift my glass in, and I completely ignored his message. So if it wasn't for my own lack of what's the word I'm looking for? Lack of Facebook etiquette. He sent me a message that I read and saw and went, that's Phil sent me a message. I actually thought the message was, Graham, I'm off next week. Do you want me to come and give you a lift? Oh no, it wasn't. It was Graham. No, didn't mention my name. That's what confused me. It said, I'm off on Wednesday. Do you need a lift? And I thought, he's obviously sent that to the wrong person. He's offering someone a lift somewhere and I'm not going anywhere. But what he meant was a lift with the glass to help me get it in. But even if I had realised that, I read it and went, Phil's message, mate, I'll need to reply to that. Flashing lights, other things to distract me, and completely didn't get back to him. So I'm terribly sorry. So if anyone else wants to offer to come and help me lift the glass in, you know. Can hear and see, that's good, because I have been rambling for the past 5 minutes, and if you couldn't have heard or seen me, that would have been a problem. Andy's in. Scott with Hans Zimmer, yeah. As soon as I said I can't think of any other hands offhand, I thought of about 1,000. Hey, Don's here. Oh, pardon me. Ooh. Simon's in. Hans Zimmer is a good Hans. That's very true. Hans Gruber. He was a bad Hans, but a good bad Hans. Does that make sense? Bad Hans. Still a Hans. Yeah, all hands are Hans. Oh, we've got a comment on a video. Oh no, that's on a video, not on my live stream. Anyway, if you're new here, welcome. First of all, nice to see you. Thanks for joining us. This is the Aquarium Adventures channel where I need to get out of this habit of saying we. We're me, this one person, no one else. Usually talk about fishy things. So I make videos about fishy things, test reviews, all that good stuff, just random goings on, whatever I'm up to this week. And then on Friday night we have a live stream. The live stream's a little bit more loose format. I say that to cover my complete ineptitude and lack of planning, because I haven't even got bullet points tonight. So who knows what we'll talk about for however long it happens. So ask any questions, suggest any topics. I see what's up, what's going on. Let me know what you've been up to this week. Have you got any fishy plans? Have you got any other plans? Just general discussion. But there's also a load of shilling from me. So buy my stuff, subscribe to my stuff, watch my stuff. The only entry requirements to this evening are that you click like on the way in. Uh-oh. Error. YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. As such, viewers will experience buffering. I'm terribly... Quality's taking a dive. Do a quick speed test, network check, and see what's going on. The internet is not happy. I'm detecting a pattern. 0 megabytes down. That's good. Can you hear my heavy breathing? Okay, internet says it's fixed itself, but I'm still looking at a spinning circle on YouTube Studio. So, I don't know. Can you still see me? Can you still hear me? Who knows? Shall I just keep wandering about in this... Wandering about? No, I'm not even talking properly. I'll pretend you can still see me and hear me. Who knows? Anyway, we've got some new people. QC Aquaholic, nice to see you again. How are the discus on amphetamines? So, you must have been able to see that bit then, at least. So, who knows? Dog Butter can hear me breathing. Looks good. I'm back. Yeah, okay. YouTube is obviously having a bit of a knickers and a twist moment. You can hear and see me. Right, so, as I was saying, welcome. Why does it always take me 13 minutes to say hello? Welcome, everyone, back to the stream. Now, I feel dead low down today. My seat seems to have shrunk. Now I feel dead high up. Never happy. There we go. That's better. Welcome to the stream. Let's start again, shall we? So, I have nothing planned. I have not even had my dinner, just for a change. It's been a very busy day, very busy week, in fact. So, I'm interested to know what you guys have been up to this week, whether it be aquatic or otherwise. If you have any questions, get them down in the chat, let me know. Put at Aquarium Adventures, I've got more of a chance of seeing it, because it's up in big orange letters on my screen. Otherwise, I'm just going to talk about random crap for the rest of the evening. Oh, another thing I want to do is I'm collecting fishy puns and fishy jokes. So if you hear any good jokes, let me know. Let me know. Sorry, that was bad. I've been playing with my Stream Deck this evening, so the 1 hour I did have free, I decided to reprogram my Stream Deck and have lots of new things going on. So if you want to hear more about that, you can have a look at Discord. Damn it! Have a look at Discord. You can join us on our Discord server. Legitimately it's we, because I've got very little to do with it. We have a server with lots of channels you can join in, share pictures, ask questions, show things, ask things, do things, all that good stuff. And then I can make that go away again. There we go. I can ask you to subscribe. And I can make that go away again. I can tell a terrible joke and put a funny face on. I don't know why that's a good thing, but it pleases me immensely. So, what have we been doing fishy-wise this week? Oh, I've got something to share with you, actually. Let me find it. I have had a little gift sent along. Copy that. So, I'll put this into the... That's not the chat. Where's the chat gone? That's not the chat either. VM Aquatics. So, if you're in the UK, this might be of use to you. Pardon me. Check out the link that I've just posted into the chat. There. I can even show my own comments. They have sent me a little gift, so they reached out to me and said, would I be interested in mentioning them in a video? Not sponsoring a video as such. They just wanted to show me some stuff. Have I gone again? What on earth is going on about? Right, let me reload this page. I shall probably kill everything. Am I back? Shall I just give up? No, I'm fine. I can see myself now. So that's something. Anyway, as I was saying, I was sent a little gift this week. I got a Zis brine shrimp hatchery, brine shrimp sieve, and some brine shrimp. So I've got a few things to be trying out. I've had them in the fish room for, well, I only set it up yesterday, day before yesterday, whenever it arrived. So I'm doing some brine shrimp. So the next video that I'm thinking of releasing is going to be all about live food. Because I'm going to put a little bit more focus on breeding and, well, live foods, which I think is an excellent way to kick off breeding fish. So we've got some brine shrimp going. I've already got a couple of worm cultures. I've got my earthworm farm. So I wanted to talk a little bit about that. Half showing you what I do and what my thoughts are, none of it being very scientific, but just why I do these things, and half asking for other tips. So we've got that coming. So I wanted to mention VM Aquatics because they have sent me that to play with. I was going to do another DIY version, because I tried another DIY version just before I moved house, and I think I almost perfected it. But now I've got a proper version. So have you got any stories, advice on this brine shrimp hatchery? Because everything I've seen so far has been fairly positive, except for people hate the stand. Now, I've only made one batch of brine shrimp so far. I'm on the second batch now. Don't really see a problem with it. So I'm wondering why everyone... Because everything I've read or seen has been, oh yeah, it's great apart from the stand. What's wrong with the stand? I don't get it. So we'll get that going. Interested to know what your feedback is, because apparently this is one of their more popular items. As I say, I posted the link in the chat to VM Aquatics. Their story, or the backstory as to how they got me to do this. They sold a lot on eBay, and in fact, shall I pull the email up? Can I pull the email up? Do I have the technical prowess to get an email at the same time as talking? Now I need to remember the guy's name. Which I can't do. Peter, I think it was. There we go. So he reached out to me on this very live stream last week, actually. He sent me an email. So they've been selling a lot of goods on eBay before, and it turns out I've actually bought some plants off them in the past, but completely unrelated. Been expanding fairly rapidly, found their breeding products are amongst our best sellers. We focus on providing great quality goods rather than cheap rubbish, and it seems to be paying off. We've got great feedback from all of our customers. One of the best selling products was the Artemia blenders, so the brine shrimp hatchery, in other words. Sadly, the eggs we were selling originated from Russia, so we had to make the decision to stop selling them for obvious reasons. We were out of stock for a couple of months while we found a new supplier, and we now have that from the Great Salt Lake in the US. But because the product is now technically new, all the reviews have been wiped out, so he was looking for some assistance to get the name out there again, basically. So it kind of kismet. The universities aligned. I was about to start doing some brine shrimp. He offered to send me a brine shrimp hatchery. Thought perfect, that'll save me a few pennies. So I've got this to play with. I've been enjoying using it so far. No complaints at all, and everyone seems to like it, so I don't know why I thought I wouldn't like it. Seems to do a great job. I've chatted with the guy a little bit to ask him, well, what's good about your place? I've had a few positive reviews from subscribers and other forums who've told me, yep, VM Aquatics, I've used them, great customer service, all that good thing. So happy to give them a little bit of a shout out. So the next video won't be sponsored by them as such, but we'll be mentioning them and asking you to go and check out their website, which I have posted in the chat. Have I posted it in the chat? I don't know. I'll do it again anyway. Because also, if you use that link, which I'll put on screen, there you go. I think I might have disappeared now. No, just not in focus in any way. Come on, camera. Here. It is an affiliate link, so anything you buy from VM Aquatics, they do have a sale on at the moment. They've got a few deals. You might find something you want, but anything you buy, I think I get 3%, 5%, something like that. So, you know, a couple of pennies in my pocket as well. And I'm sorry if that feels like it's overly mercenary or overly money grabbing, but you know, I've got fish to feed. It's not going to cost you any more to use my link. We'll see. That's what it is. So that's the next video. The last video was my video on, what was it now? God damn you, camera! You have one job. I meant to focus on my eyes. My my last video was the video on... In fact, the last two videos have been quite... Let's go for three. The last three videos I've been quite happy with. So the last one was the Congo Tetra tank. Absolutely loving that tank. Every time I go into the fish room now, I'm like, why did I not do this years ago? So we might be going down the road of getting more subscriber tanks going, because that was obviously a tank that you guys, you picked everything for me. We did it all very democratically. We chose the fish, we chose the type of tank. I made it, and it's fantastic. I love it. I spend loads of time just standing staring at it going, that's excellent. I've done very well there. I'm very proud of myself. So we'll need to think of other ways we can introduce you guys. So maybe we'll do like a live scape with another tank, something along those lines. So that's I'm kicking some ideas around in my head of how we can crowdsource great aquariums, because I think that's what I've ended up with. My Congo tank, I think it's one of the best aquariums I've ever had. I absolutely love the look of it, and you guys helped me do it, so I want to do more of that type of thing. So maybe we'll do like a live aquarium build, because I know some people take months and months over their tanks, but generally when I start a tank, I go and it's done in an hour. So I'm pretty sure we can knock this out in a couple of hours. That might be something we do, so any interest in that, let me know if that sounds like the kind of thing you'd be into. The snakehead tank, moved them into a better situation. It's obviously not going to be their final home, but I explained how I had them in one way. They were in a side-on tank, so I could never see them because they wanted to hide all the time. So I've moved them more into more of a display tank, freeing up my top tanks to do actual breeding projects. So we might see some more of that coming in the channel soon. But I've moved them down. Loads of good feedback on the snakehead one, because there's lots of people who either they're not allowed to keep them because they're illegal wherever they are. So if you're in the States, for instance, quite a lot of the states in America haven't, they're banned. You're just not allowed to keep them no matter what. It's just like flat no, even if it wouldn't be a problem. The reason that most of them are banned is because they're considered a very invasive species, and I can see why that would be, and that's all good and everything, but we're allowed them. So I've got lots of people saying, brilliant, I've been looking at this for ages. Kind of doing my head in a little bit, the snakes. When I do see them, they'll spend like a day being like, yeah, look at me, aren't I pretty, swimming around giving it the big I am, and then they'll spend 3 days under a rock. You're like, is it because I brought my camera, snake? Come on, snake, get out here. But they're proving to be a challenging fish, so I thought giving them a big old tank, a big old space to grow up a little bit, they'd be out and about again. But no, they've gone back into hibernation mode and they're hiding from me. So, you know, proving a little bit of a challenge. And then the last video, I can see some comments coming here. Where am I? And then, so I've been cranking them out as well. I'm very pleased with my output these days. My last video was about the... God, spit the bloody words out, Graham. The filter, the Tidal, there you go. The Seachem Tidal filter. And I was just browsing through the internet looking for a filter for the Congo tank, because I'd kind of bodged together a couple of sponge filters and an old hang-on back filter. Wasn't really happy with that. I mean, it was perfectly fine. It was keeping the water parameters perfectly happy, but I just wasn't happy with it. So I was looking at external filters, most of canister filters, all that kind of stuff. And then the Seachem, the Tidal one came up, and I wasn't really thinking about hang-on backs, and I just saw that and went, oh, that's not that expensive actually, it's quite cheap. And then the Tidal 75, so I was looking at the 35 because it just popped up in my Amazon recommendations, and it was like £51. I was like, I thought that was going to be more than that, because I just hadn't looked at them. And then the 75 popped up and it was less than that. It was like £47 or something like that. I was like, whoa, that's rated for 300 litres. And I know the ratings are all bahooky, but still, got that, set it up. I can't fault it. I mean, lots of people are saying, "Oh yeah, but it overflows and it gets clogged easily. It does this, it does that." I don't care. I'll clean it more. I'm perfectly happy with it. It's got everything I want in a hang-on back filter. It's got a big space at the back that I can fill with media. None of this replace a cartridge every 3 months bahookie. It's got the pump on the water side, so it's quieter. It auto starts. It doesn't leak, so there's no leaks. I didn't mention that in the video, but obviously because it pumps on the water side, there's no leaking. And it's got a large capacity, and most of all, it only runs about 7 watts. It's fantastic. So, given how expensive electricity is these days, I think that was an absolute steal. So I hope people... I did a bit of a calculation. I ended up not trusting my own maths, so I didn't show it in the video, but I did a bit of a calculation that compared to one of those Alpon Solutions EF 1000 filters or whatever, you would save more in about 8 or 9 months on energy prices over that. And I guarantee this Seachem Tidal filter will be more efficient in filtering the water than one of those Alpon Solutions was, especially when you have to return it 5 times and replace the head and replace the pipes and replace joints and replace the basket. It's not very good. But yeah, I've only had it a week or whatever it is, so time will tell, but I'm absolutely loving it. So let me know, have you got one of these Tidal filters? Everyone that I've seen in the comments, bar one, has said it's great and they're really happy with it. So sounds good to me. By the way, if you're enjoying a beverage tonight, we're on the Pepsi Max again. I'm on a bit of a health kick / diet, so no more beer for a while. Anyway, let's catch up with the comments and see if anyone's still here, or I may well have been talking to myself for the last 10 minutes. I appear to still be live. Oh yeah, and obviously, any more fish jokes, let me know, and then I can use my special button. Scott says, I set up my new tank finally, short of getting botanicals in. They're boiled through, just soaking now. Uploaded a short last night and got nearly 1,000 views. Yeah, shorts are really good for that kind of stuff. I've noticed this with shorts, TikTok, shorts and TikTok, no, and Instagram Reels. Your first few of each of them, I'm convinced they just over promote them. Not to say that your video's not good and doesn't merit 1,000 views, but like TikTok, my first few TikToks got thousands of views. My next few got hundreds of views. Alright, I can legitimately say they probably weren't the most interesting of TikToks in the world, but neither were the first ones. Same with shorts, YouTube shorts. First couple of shorts I did, 10,000 views or whatever it was. I was like, yeah, this is the future. Yay, go shorts. And the next ones are like, 500 views. Back down to earth with a pump. But it's good for getting your name out there. So if you are, some YouTube advice from someone you probably shouldn't listen to. If you are thinking of getting into the TikToks, the YouTubes, all that kind of stuff, carefully craft your first few shorts, having lots of hooks so you get people to go and look at the rest of your content, because you get quite a good audience straight away. So that's the time to make your own shop window and say, I do loads of this kind of stuff, come and watch it. But yes, the boiling thing, I don't get it. Why are we boiling things? Aquarists everywhere seem to be obsessed with boiling things, whether it's rocks, wood, stones, sand even. I saw the other day someone was boiling sand and I was like, what the? Now Scott's boiling his botanicals, and I'm sure there's a reason. Is it just to make the water, or is it to do something specifically to the botanicals? Genuine question, not having a go, I just don't know. What shall we discuss? I like it. Dog butter. I've got too many guppies been popping off this week. Then the angles, angels. The angles lay the eggs. Never mind the last fry swimming around with them. Let me read that again. I've got too many guppies popping off this week. Well, I can see a solution there. If you have too many guppies, let them share the tank with the angles for a while. That'll get rid of it. Mush says the air pump arrived. Oh, so that was last week's prize. I gave away the... What was it I gave away? Oh, the Nycrew Nano air pump that I got sent by Nycrew. So, yeah, good. Glad. I had to replace the air hose because I couldn't find it. So you've got a bit of my neon green air hose. So apologies for that. Mickey's in. Good. This is obviously when I conked out for a while. I think Aquarium Co-op likes them. Yes. I think they sell them. I think they quite like the Zis stuff. I've heard them talking about Zis things a few times. And there's nothing to not like about it. It seems to be a perfectly good thing. So, happy to try it out. I should actually be harvesting my first batch right now. So, I'll probably kill my first batch because I don't know if I can be bothered to go down later tonight. So, it'll be first thing tomorrow. So, and again, this is, you can help me with my thought process here. I'm thinking of not making a review of the Zis filter because it seems like 1,000 people have already done that. It's more about folding it into a live food video and talking about the reasons you might want to get into live food. Or do you want to see, this is how to make brine shrimp? Or both, who knows? Let me know. How's the new filter doing? Have you been doing much 3D printing? Well, we've been doing much upgrading of the printer. I don't know if I can show you that. No, that's just going to break things. But it's right. In fact, while I talk to you, I shall see if I can fire up and remember how to do this. This is your fault, Cameron. DroidCam OBS. What do I do now? No. Back camera. So in theory, if I go to this, you get a black screen. Oh, hey, it's working! Look, that's what I see. So I'll give you a tour of my setup. So here is OBS. Oh, look at that infinity window. Ooh, hope nobody's drinking. And then over here I've got my Discord open, the YouTube live streamy bit, and then the camera sits just up there. Then over to this side is the 3D printer and all the 3D printer mess. So that's an upgrade. We've upgraded the extruder to a direct drive. I've got some more upgrades here, so we've got some more springs, clamps, all that kind of stuff. These all need to go on tomorrow because I couldn't get it to print anything. It was basically sticking constantly, and I've got a few things backed up, but my son's now taken it upon himself to go into business with 3D printing things, so he's printing these kind of things. So this is an octopus, but we've got frogtopuses, which is the same as an octopus but with a frog head. But they're pretty cool, and it is his birthday present, so I really need to let him go for it before anyone else. But I've been trying to design various things like brackets, light holders, tool holders, lots of aquarium-y stuff. But yeah, it's really cool. Getting into it, so I've got some more upgrades to do. But very happy, and loads of things that I've just got loads of things queued up that I haven't actually got around to printing yet. So yeah, that's my 3D printer. I'm glad that worked. Well done. Well done, Cameron, for suggesting that, as if you invented it. So I haven't been doing lots of 3D printing, but number 2 son has been. Right, where do we get to? Any updates with your monster tank? Only the very apologetic ones of not taking Phil's help because I didn't realise he was offering me help. So, no, I've been consumed by other little tidying up things. I'm kind of apprehensive about doing it. I've got this big massive sheet of glass just sitting there staring at me going, go on, I dare you, lift me, try and lift me. And I can lift it just about, but I'm convinced it's going to kill me, basically. So I'm kind of waiting for naturally someone to come round so I can just go, just come here a minute. If I gave you 20 quid, would you just... so we'll see. But I've got so many other jobs that I need to be getting on with as well. But we'll get there. We'll get there. Yeah, if you're lacking Monster Tank content, join the Discord over there and check out Alex G's updates. If you think my tank's a Monster Tank, wait to see this thing. I think I could fit about 15 of my Monster Tanks inside his Monster Tank. That is, when I was a kid, ginormous. I bought a breeding pair of L183 bristlenose. Beautiful fish, never saw them. Sold them on after 2 months, getting annoyed not seeing them. That is often the way with bristlonoses and all kinds of plecos. I can never remember the numbers and what they actually mean. L183, what's that? Oh, is that the Starlight? No, what is it called? Oh yeah, Starlight. Oh, get in there. I recognised it from the picture, which I realise I'm now not showing any of you lot, but there you go. Starlight pleco. Beautiful fish. I think I had 6 of them at one point. Lovely. Peppermint plecos. No, that's the one I had. I'm rubbish with the L numbers though. I do apologise. Tidal seems to have dethroned Aquaclear in America, so it must be good. Yeah, a few of the comments were, oh, I've switched over from Aquaclear to Tidal. Hang on backs. So, American chums. I don't know if this is a British thing or it's just a me thing, but hang on backs just weren't a thing for me until fairly recently. So it's like I would always read about them or see them or hear them discussed. Oh yeah, get a hang on back filter, but I never saw a hang on back filter either at anyone's house, fish room, a shop even. It was always internal filters, whether that be sponge filters or some kind of power filter or canister filters. Just hang on back filters just weren't a thing, and it was only fairly recently, and I'm talking maybe 5 years, something like that I started to see them, probably because of the internet and places like All Pond Solutions, which we've got here, selling them on eBay, on Amazon. That they started to pop up, and I don't know, they're great. So APS sell one that's like 16 quid. It's got a huge capacity for what it is. It's basic as hell. It's basic as all hell, but it's cheap as all hell, and it's got quite a decent capacity. I love that thing. I just love it for its simplicity. There's only one thing to go wrong, and that's the pump. And it will, because it's only 16 quid, so the quality control there isn't brilliant. But when they do go wrong, they go annoyingly wrong, so they might have a leak, which is very annoying. They might make an annoying noise that'll have a rattle, and it'll just be like, I'll put up with that because you're only 16 quid, but you're doing my head in. Whereas the Tidal, I get the feel that that's going to be a little bit of a step up from that. Whereas when you started getting into the YouTube thing and watching all the American channels, hang on back filters seemed to be the norm. And it was like, what's this crazy canister idea? How do canister filters work? And it's like, well, that's the norm for me. So I don't know if it's just because I started getting into it because I was in discus, and that's a bigger fish requiring a bigger tank, which is more of a canister friendly situation. I don't know. So I feel like I'm late. I guess what I'm trying to say is I feel like I'm late to the canister filter. No, to the hang on back filter game. So like Aquaclears, I've never seen them, never heard of them, not even sure you can buy them. Even when I was researching that last video, Are they now bought by Hagen, the Fluval people? I don't know. Pardon me. QC Aquaholic has a Seachem Tidal. So Seachem's one of those words that's a little bit like cichlids for me. I always want to say Seachem. Seachem. Just say it over and over again and I'll get it right. I have a Seachem filter, Tidal 55, and love it, no issues whatsoever. Yeah, so they have the whole range, and that wasn't a sponsored video. I paid for that with my own good money. Obviously, it's targeting the American market because they're all named 55, 75, 110, because the Americans call their tanks. Well, it's a 55-gallon tank, it's a 110-gallon tank, so a 75-gallon tank. So I quite like the simplicity of the naming system. Kind of Ron sealed it. That's what it says on the tin. Brandon says, I'm a sump kind of guy. I'm a sump kind of guy. I have sumps. Yeah, I do have. I have more than one sump. And I always have done, so I thought it was... And hang on back is just like a suspended sump, almost. I do like to be a rebel though and hang them on the side rather than the back. I don't think I've ever hung a hang-on back filter on the back of an aquarium. I've always hung them on the side. Maybe I'm just contrary. Stuart, I thought the video you did on water changes was excellent. You can come again, Stuart. Thank you very much. I now have two solenoid valves, one to fill a water exchange container and one to do water changes. Good, I'm glad it helped. I mean, that's kind of 50% of why I make videos, is because sometimes I say something sensible and useful and someone might use it and get something out of it. So if that's what's happened, that's brilliant. Pardon me. Novo Perkele beer is way healthier than Pepsi. Well, I suppose you could make that argument, but not in a losing belly fat way. It isn't. It was literally, so yeah, this was your YouTube short, was literally just me boiling botanicals, so it makes sense. I only got 15 likes, which is my most liked video ever. Hey, let's get into it. Once you go sump, you'll never go back. Well, I am the exception to that rule then, because I started with sumps and I've now tried everything else as well as sumps. Don't get me wrong, I love sumps. I think they're fantastic methods of filtration. If you can fit a sump into your system, I don't think you can get better. But not every situation can fit a sump. Don't boil rocks. Quite right. I have made videos on this very subject. Well, I just don't get the whole boiling things in general. And I've not had one good argument for someone who has boiled rocks as to why they do it. As to kill all the nasties? Well, no. One, there's many other ways to kill all the nasties. And two, you won't kill all the nasties because they'll be deep within the rock and leach out over time. And you can't boil away those things. I mean, the whole rocks exploding thing, I'm a bit undecided on that. In theory, yes, it can happen. Is it likely to happen by boiling a rock? Not unless you freeze a rock and drop it into a boiling pan. If you put a rock in a cool pan and boil it, and it heats up slowly, it's very, very, very unlikely to explode. But very, very unlikely is still a chance. What did the fish say when it hit the wall? Damn. I like that one. Having said that, I have an EF1000 and that's my favourite filter to hate. I had one of them for many years, and it was like Trigger's broom. I had a new everything, several new everythings. It was terrible as well. For botanicals and roots, at least, it makes it sink faster. Ah, there you go. So that's a reason for boiling things, yes. Does that work for? Oh, well, I suppose maybe roots. Yeah. But I watched someone make a series of videos about boiling their bogwood to make it sink faster. It didn't. They still had to weigh it down with rocks. Neon of your business. This better be good. Sorry, these things amuse me. Boiling botanicals helps sink faster, gets rid of the first initial overdose of tannins. First release always a lot more than needed. Very well. Yeah, it wasn't having a go, but I didn't get it. But that makes sense. So yeah, why wouldn't you do that? Goldwater Aquatics. Hello, Graham, or Ellie, Graham, and Chatters. Ellie yourself. How are you doing? If you're new to the stream, I generally stream from kind of 9 o'clock till 11 o'clock, and then Coldwater Aquatics has a stream at 11 o'clock, or a more sensible time in their time zone. So you can follow on afterwards and keep your fishy YouTube journey going all night. Brine lasts a while, even after hatching. In my experience, you should be fine. Yeah, I've got generally. It's just because it's the first one. I wanted to check in after 24 hours, and 24 hours is about half an hour ago. So generally, when I used to do it with my DIY versions, it would be anywhere between 24 to 36 hours would be the sweet spot. Obviously, they would still last a while after that, but it just tends to foul the water a bit, I found, and you start to, your yield goes down more than anything else. But I also, I'm heating the fish room rather than individual tanks now. So I'm keeping the room hot, but it's not hot, it's just warm. So I'm not heating the brine shrimp hatchery at all with anything. So it'll probably be a bit slower as well. So we'll see what happens. You'll see the video come out at the weekend probably. Phil's got 2 of them. Thumbs up. Good to hear some nice positive reviews. Well, it's official. I'm going to keep doing that because it took me about an hour to program that. That isn't the final result. I'm hoping to use that theory to make some more interesting streamy things. I was going to do some streamy games, but I never quite got around to that. So I know it went down like a lead balloon when we tried to play stream games before, but I'm going to give it another bash and get some word games. That's how you'll win prizes, but we'll have to save that till next week. James has joined us. Hello, James. Stop going salmon on. Oh, that's even better. Anything is possible. Just don't trout yourself. From now on, I'm only going to do worthy jokes. I've had enough. That's poor. That's poor. Oh, here we've got a nice stream-friendly version of it. Let's raise the roof with those likes. You're so sophisticated. Didi's Finden. I was watching the Aquatic Morning Show earlier. You were on it. I don't know why I chose to say that, but there you go. Stop being shellfish. Nope, not good enough. I'm gonna have to try. It's not the size of your tank that matters, but how you use it. Well, go and check out Alex G's aquariums, because I'm sure that will prove me wrong. No, I can't wait to get my super mega tank going. because I'm really looking forward to stocking it and having just that cool tank in there. But I'm also finding loads of fun and loads of enjoyment out of all my other tanks as well. I'm setting them up and, like I say, trying to put a bit more focus on breeding and things like that. So I've got plenty to be doing, although it is kind of starting to nag me that I've not got on with it yet. I was doing so much moaning that, the glass is taking forever to arrive and I can't find glass for the mega tank. And then I got it and now it's just been sat there for about 3 weeks. So we'll get there. Aquaclear used to be the best solution for standalone tank hang on the back that was easy to use for beginners. I used to sell lots of them when I worked at an LFS in the early 2000s. Yeah, Aquaclear seems to be the clear, or was the clear market leader, but like someone said earlier, I think the Seachem Tidals are trying to take that throne now, aren't they? But I've never seen an Aquaclear or even heard of an Aquaclear in a shop over here. Pardon me. I was trying to find a hang-on back last year. MD Aquatics uses them a lot. No shop had them, so I had to order online. Yeah, you can definitely get them online a lot better than you can in shops. I mean, I don't know. Callum, do you sell them? Anyone else that works in a shop, do you sell them online in your shops? Because they do generally come in nice stackable boxes that are retail friendly. Unlike your FX6s, which are just hugely expensive and huge. So I would have thought it would make sense to keep them, and they're just good. A nice, simple filter that doesn't break the bank, cheap to run, doesn't need any other equipment. So sponge filters, absolutely love sponge filters, think they're great, but then you need an air pump or a non-return valve or some airline. Not that that's a hardship for most people, but it is extra stuff. If your kid's just getting into it and you're not interested at all in aquariums, and you go and buy a box that says aquarium filter and you get it home, you go, so how do I make it work? Where do I plug it in? I need to get another thing for it. Whereas this is, it's in a box. Right, box is over there. It's in a box. Plug it in. It'll do what you want it to do. They're just good stuff. I'm surprised Graham didn't open with "Let's discuss things tonight." Someone already grabbed that one, Scott. Weren't you listening? Who else have we got in? Paul McCarthy. I keep wanting to say McCartney, but welcome, Paul, if you haven't already been welcomed. Rico Stan. Hi, Aquarium Adventures. Boom, I can't even say my own name. Hi, Aquarium Adventures. It was good to see you out in the wild today. Yes, I must admit I missed the whole aquatic morning show thing. Didn't know it was a thing until Rebecca, their friend, was on it the other day or the other week. So it tends to come out at a bad time for me because that's when I generally go and pick the kids up from school. So I catch either just the start or jump in halfway through. But I'm still working, so I'm meant. If anyone's watching from my employer, I'm obviously still working and working hard, not watching YouTube at all. So, I have to kind of dip in and out. So, what was going on? Sorry, you might be able to answer this, I don't know. I just joined as there was loads of fish flying across the screen with people's names on them. And I obviously missed the explanation as to what the hell was going on, but it was one of the most surreal things I've ever seen, where I finished the call and turned around and looked at it and switched it back on. And yeah, I can think of no way to describe it other than a load of fish with people's names on them having a race. What was all that about? I meant to ask, but I thought, no, that's just rude because it shows I haven't been watching. Graham, last week I asked you about your racking system and whether you trust it with big tanks. You said yes. I found one in Costco quite cheap and wonder if you've seen it before. Can share it. You can share it by all means. I purely trust it because it's rated for the weight that I want to put on it. So find out. The key question is, what is the shelf rated for? And there's two ways they rate shelves generally in racking systems. It's either and I've immediately forgotten the names of them, but one of them is basically weight spread across the whole shelf, and one of them is weight. There's three ways. One of them's weight in a certain area, so they'll only trust the weight if it spans the supports. One of them will only trust the weight if it's a static weight, and there's arguments whether or not an aquarium would be static weight because technically it's water and it can move around. And one of them's I forget the word for it, but you just find out what the weight rating of each shelf is. And quite often they catch you by saying, "Oh yeah, look at this rack. It's rated for 1,500 kilos," and you think, "Oh, that's brilliant. That's loads." And what they mean is each shelf, and it's got 5 shelves. So you're like, "Oh right, so it's actually terrible." So again, the one I used was Big Doug. There are other comparable ones in the UK that do that kind of thing, but Big Doug have always been good to me. Good customer service. Never had any problems with them. They're not the cheapest, but they're as cheap as any of the other ones. And they seem to deliver quickly when I've wanted them. They've always given me slight upgrades every now and again, and it's a fairly easy to pick. Most of the subject pictures are a guy or a woman stood in front of the rack holding a big weight that says 800 kilos or 600 kilos or whatever, meaning that's what that shelf will hold. And that's why I trust it. And I've had lower rated shelves racking in my old place that have held way more weight than they were rated for and always been fine. So that's the trust element of it. Yeah, so Hans, not Gruber, Hartman. Personally, I don't have the space to spare for a hang-on back filter. That's exactly what drew me to it, because I don't have the space to spare for a canister filter. So in my fish room, the tank that I wanted to filter, canisters generally go underneath the tank. But that was all storage space for me, which I was using for other things. Yes, I could have made a space, but I don't need to with a hang-on back filter. I just hang it on the side. So this is a very good idea. 3 small hang-on back filters that I grow plants out of. Exactly. So many more uses for your hang-on back filters. And again, really like the flue valve version because the pump's not where you're going to be putting those plants. David, where were you when I was making that video? That would have been a really good selling point. Because of a lot of the hang-on back, the pumps are on the filter side. So if you have a plant that is growing a load of roots, whether it's pothos or bamboo or whatever it might be, those roots will eventually find their way into the filter, into the pump, and start jamming it, which is not good. Sumps confuse me, says Skiller. I'll stick to the external. Right, we need to have a discussion about sumps because they are not confusing things at all. People are very trying to read and failing. People are very scared by sumps because people talk about, oh, you need to make sure it's failure ready for power outages and things like that, and you need to make sure you get your head height right, and you need to balance it, and you need to. All these things are just mere technicalities. It's basically water goes in one end and out the other end, and it goes into your tank. So if you get the plumbing right, that you can have a pump running, which is going to pump water out of your sump into your display tank, which will then overflow back into your sump. That's your filtration cycle. So it's doing that. From the everything from there on in is you dialing it into your own specifications. So you'll generally want to make sure, and it could just be a plain box. It doesn't have to be baffles and all those things. It could just be a box. Pardon me. When I bought that flat, didn't buy that flat, I rented that flat for my temporary fish room. I ran that off sumps, and they were just big plastic tote boxes, really useful boxes. Had little pumps in each of them, pumping them back up into the tanks, and then overflowing back down into the plastic box. The box is filled with Biohome, Alpha Grog, whatever it would be. Just cycling like that. The thing that you want to make sure of is if the power goes out, so if you stop pumping up, because generally what happens is you pump into the display tank, which if your water line's here in your display tank, your overflow might be here, so you pump water until it gets up to there so as it can start to overflow. If the power goes out and you stop adding water to this, and this overflows back into your sump, have you enough head height, i.e. room above the water line in the sump, to accommodate whatever water will drain back down again. And the number one way people get this wrong is they have their overflow too low, or their pumping back in bit too low. So if you pump in below the water line, it's whatever's lowest in your display tank is where it will drain to. So the only way to do it is to test it. Once you've got everything in there, plug it in, pull the plug, see what happens. If it starts to look like it's going to overflow, plug it back in again and alter. Pardon me. Just make sure everything's high enough. Everything else about that is about supercharging, pimping, whatever you want to call it, making it better. Baffles are really only needed for salt water. They're bubble traps more than anything else, but they're also a really good way to direct the water. As you'll know from any filter, water will always take the path of least resistance. So if you give it a few challenges to make sure it's always going to have to find a new path, that's good. And baffles are a good way to do that. They're also a good way to separate chambers just for your own ease. You might have, right, I'm going to have mechanical filtration at this side, then chemical and biological, or the other way around, then equipment, and then pump, and then a dosing area, or a refugium, or whatever. There's loads of options. And the beauty is with sumps, you're usually increasing your water volume, so you get all the benefits of that as well. Sorry, I'm about to have a choking / coughing fit, which is always nice. As DD says, love sumps, so much easier to clean, plus you add more water volume, and more water volume is always good. Sean's off to work. Thank you for stopping by, Sean. Pardon me. I am enjoying myself with my joke reactions. It's very easy to amuse myself. Boiling saltwater reef rocks can be deadly if there are any paleozoa and corals on these rocks. Yes. There's several people. There was somebody who was in the paper not long ago who was stupid enough to try and boil. He didn't like the type of corals that were on this rock, so he boiled it to get rid of them, nearly killed his entire family. Why did the fish get bad grades? Because it was below sea level. That only got a begrudging one. That was terrible. Definitely easier. So many more benefits with the sump. I had to clean 3 canister filters a day. They're nightmare to do. They are a bit. Can you freeze brine shrimp? Yes, definitely. You can buy it frozen as well. Pardon me. There's a time and place for these puns. Oh, it's getting wetter. It's getting worse. We don't sell. So that's, I guess, an answer to my do you sell hang-on back filters. There you go. Future expansion line. Mention that to Reese. Can you recommend a liquid fertilizer from Amazon? I'm using Tropica at the moment, but it's getting expensive, so I thought I'd try something different, but there's a lot on there. Yes I can. So I did some extensive testing. Basically what I'm trying to say is I've tried just about every fertilizer on the market, and some of them worked for me, some of them didn't. Your results may vary, let's just put it that way. But I get good. So the current fertilizer I've been using for a while, I've instantly forgotten the name of. They are. Come on, Scott. What are they called? Sorry, I'm going to do some googling. There you go, TNC, that's the one. So I have found that the perfect fertilizer for everyone does not exist. You have to look at what's already in your water, what your current water is, either lacking or doesn't have enough of, and then kind of alter to fit. But the TNC ones I have found to be a great range. There you go, Scott's just answered me as well, TNC Complete. So I'll put a link in the description for it. So I use TNC Complete and TNC Light depending on the tanks. So what I found is my water tends to have a lot of phosphates in it, which causes me problems. So a lot of nitrates, or not a lot of nitrates, but enough nitrates that I don't need to be adding more nitrinous or phosphate stuff. So I actually use the TNC Light until it gets to a point where the plants are so established. So I have some tanks that Java moss has just gone and it eats up more than any of the excess things that I've got. Then I can use TNC Complete. I also have or in my old house, I've not actually tested it here fairly recently, I was lacking in iron. So I was getting some iron deficiencies. Again, TNC had iron. Lots of other ones will do this as well. I found TNC to be the best bang for your buck type thing. So check out those. I also dabbled in a while with dry ferts. I never really got my head around the EI method, so the estimative index, but I kind of generalised on it and it did really well. But it's a faff. If you're willing to put the effort in, that's probably the cheapest way to do it and the best way to do it. But you really have to test, making sure you've got every parameter in your own water right, so as you know what you're lacking in and what you're not lacking in, and then you build your own bespoke fertilizer from dry ferts. You add in the exact amounts that's going to get your stuff exactly to the pinnacle of what you need to feed. If you don't want to do that, then you're going for an all-in-one, and there's plenty of them on the market. The JBL stuff, thought that was really good as well. They have lots of options, and again, the good price points. TNC Complete, I just preferred it. It's easier to use, easier to store, easier to get, but for a while that wasn't true because they seemed to run out or just shut down over lockdown. But yeah, I love that stuff. So honourable mentions to the JBL range. They've got some good, their ProScape range is really good. I've got a lot of time for that. Honourable mention for George Farmer's / Evolution Aqua. I think they did the Aquascaper 1. That worked quite well with my parameters. A lot of people complained that it was too high in various things, but it hit the sweet spot for me, so I really liked that. So there we go. Scott says, I thought my oh, here we go. I'll hover over the button. I thought my fish were aggressive. Turns out they're angels. I withdraw from the button. That's not good enough, Scott. Silver Surfer, I had a hang on back in the 70s that used an airlift to return the water to the tank. Was that like a commercial thing, or is that something you built yourself? It may just be me. I might have just been missing out. I'm very... What's the word I'm looking for? I didn't hang around with lots of fishy people in the past. I was in my early fishy Aquarius state. Camera, I'm over here. Camera. What? It's like, are you on drugs, camera? There you go. In my early fish keeping days, I was the only person I knew that was into fish, so I didn't really talk about it with anyone, and I didn't really have any friendly shops that I would go to. So maybe I just missed out on hang-on back filters. I don't know. Pardon me. Well, there's a good tip from Brandon. Put them in the fridge first. This is the brine shrimp, I imagine. Then move them to the freezer. It cuts down on moisture. So when I've done it, I've just strained them put them in like a paper towel, and then put that into like an ice cube tray, and then frozen them like that. That's worked out quite well. Oh dear, itchy knee. Sorry, I scratched my knee. Oh, we've got another attempt from Scott. When I woke up this morning, I thought I had a cold. Turns out I just had a runny nose. That's worthy. A fish flops into the bar and the bartender says, "What do you want?" The fish says, "Water." Not good enough, sorry Danny. Christine, good evening. How are you doing? Foxtail Sushi. Oh, so Foxtail Sushi is the person who has designed our potential new merch. I've reached out to Phil to see whether or not that'll work on a t-shirt. If it doesn't, we'll have to use the old spread shirt thing. So can I show you it? No, you can join the Discord and you can see the pictures for yourself. You can get an "Oh my balls" t-shirt. But Phil's stuff's so much better quality than because it's actually embroidered like this. If you want your Aquarium Adventures merch, sometimes in focus, go to aquariumadventures.co.uk. But Foxtail Sushi, or was it I can never remember, it's one of you, two Foxtail people. One of you designed me some new merch. Alex says, "Sumps are awesome. Once the water level is set so it does not overflow in a power outage, it's good to go." So what I took 5 minutes rambling to say, that's essentially what I was trying to say. My partner surprised me for my birthday. She usually doesn't get me anything. This year she gave me breakfast in bed, a present and a cardinal. Oh, getting worse. Have you designed your sump for Megatank? I have in my head, I just don't have it down on paper yet. I unashamedly am stealing the design that Aquarium Domain, I think they're called. So my sumps, when I was doing the DIY sumps in the flat that I rented for my fish, I just had boxes. It's an expanded design of that where I thought it would work in my head, but I hadn't spent enough time thinking about it. But watching some of his videos, he's obviously been doing it for years, and it does work. So I'm just going to copy his design, where we're just going to have a long box, using some. It was down there. It's moved now. Hello, camera. There we go. Some jack matting to create the sections. So I'm going to have a section that's going to be essentially a settlement chamber with some K1 or something like that in it, and a section for biomedia, and then return. Just going to be a plain box with pond liner in it. Job done. Oh, that one's got me. I'll be back in a sec. I need a pistol. That one's good. Oh, don't forget the old classic. There was a fight down at the fish shop last night. 2 fish got battered. So one of my favourite things about this, so I use this program called Twidget to display the text down here for the chats, but it won't show emojis no matter what I do. It just won't show emojis. So I love when it writes them out. So like Jennifer says there, Scott, women face palming. It just so much more emotive when you say it like that. Right, I realise now I've been talking for an hour and 20 minutes. I've not put my dinner on, so if you're watching, if you could turn the oven on to 140. But we've not done a giveaway either. So, shall we do the Wheel of Kaylee? If it lands on key rings, I have no key rings left. We'll have to think of something else. Camera. I'm going to have to put this on manual focus for next week because it's doing my head in. How can you not see me? I'm enormous. I'm right here. Thank you. So, we'll bring up the Kaylee wheel, even though I've not heard from her tonight. Let's get rid of Discord. Let's remind you one more time to subscribe. All it takes is one little click, and I'll be ever so grateful. A wheel will appear here, and we'll see what you can win. Happy with that? Here we go. Oh, remember there are rules. It's a goodie bag. Whoop whoop. It's a goodie bag. Okay, so if you want to win the goodie bag, there are some rules. You have to be a subscriber, so click that button if you haven't already. Why are you not going away, Wheel? Wheel, go away. There we go. You have to be a subscriber. You have to either live in the UK or be willing to pay the postage. You have to... That's it, isn't it? I think that's it. Yeah, okay. So, we're going to... This will just make everything go mad now. Let me load up Nightbot. I need to look into new ways of doing giveaways as well, if anyone can think that. I think we'll do random number. We've not done random number for a while, have we? Or did we do that last week? So we've got 50 concurrent viewers right now. So, let's do any number between 0 and 50. Arrgh! Come on, camera. All you have to do is pick a number between 0 and 50, including 0 and 50. Type it in the chat now. And like I say, you have to be a... Why has that not worked? So generate the number. There are no eligible users. Right, there we go. Done. Sorry, if you've already pressed it, press it again, because it wasn't working there for a second. I forgot what I was saying. So, you get a box of stuff, whether it be... You might get a camera at this rate. I feel like I'm being held up at a bank or something. Okay, I'm just going to stand like this for the rest of the evening. You get a box of stuff. It might be food, it might be something else, it might be things lying on my desk, it may well be an octopus, or a frogtopus, or some other 3D printed delight. Who knows? I'm not going to sit like this for the rest of the night. Right, I'll try and get through some comments while you're all picking numbers. On a job I did, they tested some pumps and they put the hose into a massive tanks full of sludge and then turned the pump off and went for lunch, came back to 20 centimetres of sludge on the floor. Lovely. Simon says, I've been using Flourish by Seachem. I've tried that. I did not like it. But like I say, these things are specific to your own setup, so Flourish might work for you. I just didn't get on with it. Gave me lots of algae. TMT complete, which is the best. George Farmer ASMR voice. Is that me? I hope not. I do keep getting people saying, oh, I love this channel. I'm here for the ASMR. I'm like, I'm not doing ASMR. This is annoying me. Why don't fish like playing basketball? They are terrified of nets. Nope. If you can think of a better fish pun, let me know. Nope, already done that. What kind of fish eats mice? A catfish. Where do the fish keep their money? In a river bank. Oh! Not that was good. Right, now we're into the numbers. None of you got that. Oh, we have a winner. We have a winner. We have a winner. And the winner is Mary Rhodes. Congratulations, Mary. So, all you have to do is send me an email. Send me... goddamn thing. Send me an email. Graham@aquariumadventures.co.uk. Let me know where you want me to send your prize and I will send it to you at some point. It generally takes me a while to get round to these things, but I will do it. More numbers, more numbers, more numbers. We ordered a taxi, it picked us up. So yeah, that was a deep cut as well. You have to know what a pictus is. Seriously, camera. Are there any pens yet? No, not yet, but... for a short time, we have some VM Aquatics pens. If I don't break them all. Because they sent me some of these as well. So, you know, if you want one of them, that might be in the goodie bag, who knows. Is it trying to focus on the minion in the background? What minion? Do you mean that? That's my fancy discus picture I got from Fishman Aquatics. That I will one day get around to putting a frame on. But for now, it lives there. More numbers, more numbers. Anything is possible, just don't trout yourself. Oh. That's almost already been done as well. Why are fish so easy to weigh? Oh God, what have I started? Okay, that gets one. Two fish are in a tank. Oh, we've got a classic here. One turns to the other one and says, "How do you drive this thing?" Where do fish go to borrow money? A loan shark. Yeah, so that was my my discus picture. That my plan is to adorn this background with cool like lights and nice pictures and fishy art and all that kind of stuff. Been a while though. Sorry. This might be one of my favourite ones so far. Have you thought of a fish pun yet, or do you need some time to mull it over? I'm so easily amused. Do you think we could get like some kind of record for the most amount of fish puns collected in one evening? Is that a thing? Someone contact Guinness. Check your Facebook messages, re-merchandise. See, this is where it all goes wrong. I never remember to check my Facebook messages. Would help if I was even logged into Facebook. You thought you were calling Graham a minion there, Scott. No, I thought you were referring to like a child that had unsuspectingly sneaked behind me. Yes, I do. I will endeavour to reply to that when I get a second. I've had another offer as well. What's this? I have a new fish keeping business and would love to know if you're interested in doing. Okay. Guinness as in the beer. No, the world records people. Better the devil you know. Oh, scraping the barrel. Guinness as in... No. Guinness Book of World Records. You know. The on-air sign has more contrast than your head. Insert many, many bald jokes. Try a spotlight on your face. The camera should focus better. Right, okay. We go back to... is it going to work? So, there's the camera. There's me. Oh. There's the camera. There's one light. Two lights. All pointing directly at this coupon. I don't think I could have any more cameras point... it's blinding sat here. I do like to do this. So it can't be that, or it can't just be that. Why are fish so smart? Because they swim in schools. Oh dear God, why? Oh, that almost got one. Why did the vegan go fishing? Just for the halibut. That's both not funny and I don't get it. Why would a vegan go fishing? And if they did, they wouldn't go fishing for halibut. Or is that the joke? Am I too slow? Who knows? I'm being inundated with vegan things all over my social media accounts. I don't know. Someone signed me up for something, because all I'm getting these days is animal murderers are doing this week. And all I can think about is, oh, I might have a barbecue. I seem to have reached an age where I'm suddenly interested in smoking meat. Anyone that is on my Facebook might have noticed that in the last couple of weeks. I've been doing lots of barbecuing when we got a little bit nice weather. I've been doing the snake method with lots of different types of wood. I've got a whole new set of wood being delivered. This is very niche stuff here. But I've got some hickories been delivered. I've had some apple wood, some cherry wood, something else wood. A beef blend of woods to smoke some meat. So I'm going to be smoking meat tomorrow. I'm going to get up extra early tomorrow and do like a 16-hour smoke. I'm already getting excited by it. Which fish work in hospitals? Sturgeons. What do you call a fake koi? A decoy. How do fish go into business? They start on a small scale. Why do fish swim in schools? Because they can't walk. I think I'm going to have to file that one and I don't get it category as well. I've noticed fish keepers often have other niche hobbies. It's quite funny actually. I wouldn't call this as much as a hobby. I've only just started getting into it, but I like meat. I like setting things on fire. It's kind of the perfect hobby, isn't it? But I was getting chastised by Michael from Michael's Fish Room last week because I showed a picture of it, my smoke set up, and he was like, "What? You've got tinfoil? I can't believe it." So we had to have words. But no, that's gathering the juices. You can't just let the juices go away. They've got to use them for like basting and things. Right, you've murdered that one, Callum. What do you call a fish without an eye? Psh. No. That's what you call a blind fish. Psh. What's your thoughts on reptiles? I don't know what to say to that. I like reptiles. I've had many. I used to keep... So what have I had over the years? I've had a blue-tongued skink. I've still got some leopard geckos. Never had a bearded dragon. I think I'll look after one for a while. I've had some anoles. I've had snakes. I've had tree frogs. I know they're not all reptiles that I'm listing now, but I have had quite the list of exotic pets, shall we say. But at the moment, we've only got... So we recently lost our corn snake, which had lived for a good... I don't know how many years. Must have been about 13, 14 years we had it. I don't know how old it was when we got it either. But the leopard geckos, we've had them for a long time as well. They both recently dropped their tails, so we've had to make sure we're giving them the right kind of... they've not just dropped their tails, I had to take them to the vet who made them drop their tails because they were getting a little bit of tail rot. So we've had to change their diet and up their diet, and to the tune of 200 quid later. So, like reptiles, I'm kind of interested in getting more, but also where I'm going to put them, what I'm going to do with them. Kind of want a parrot. I've always wanted a parrot. I don't know where I'd put the parrot, but How did the seahorse move so quickly? He scalloped. A fish walked into tea bar. That's too niche. The butchers I used to work for used hickory wood to smoke bacon. Well, hickory is one of the woods that I've got in chip form. I'm trying out the differences between chips and chunks. Hickory is meant to be good for... So I'm obviously not an expert, but hickory, I was told hickory was good for the meatier meats, like your briskets and beef and things like that, whereas you want to use more fruity ones for pork. I don't know. All tastes good to me. What did the magician say to the fisherman? Pick a cod, any cod. I've wanted a blue skunk, a blue tail. I've wanted a blue tongue skink for a while now. I can never save up because fish. Yeah, mine had a proper attitude problem. He was a rescue, so we took him where he'd been kept with other blue tongue skinks, and had his tail bitten off. So, and then we took him in as a rescue, and he just had an attitude problem. Every time you went anywhere near him, I've still got scars. I don't know if you can see it. I've still got scars for him taking chunks out of my fingers and like my knuckle down there. Yeah, he was alright. Nasty word. Callum, are you cheating? Are you Googling these fish puns? Is that why they're terrible? What's the fastest fish? A motorbike. That's enough fish puns for today, guys. I think we should scale it back. What's the difference between a piano and a fish? You can tune a piano, but you can't tune a fish. Why do penguins eat fish? Because donuts get soggy before they can catch them. You don't even get the badoom tish for that one. Have you ever crept terrestrial isopods? I haven't, no. They kind of freak me out a bit. I'm just going to make sure they are what I think they are. Let's go on little face. Yep, they are what I think they are. Like massive woodlouse, basically. No. Yeah, they just freak me out a bit. Same as spiders. I love like YouTube channels about spiders and keeping spiders. I think they're great. No. Just no. Not for me. What was I watching earlier? Wonder if I can share this. Nope, can't even find. No, there was a video I watched earlier where it was some woman trying to clean out her tarantula cage. She's going, "This is my Goliath bird-eating spider. Oh, he's a bit feisty and his bite is quite sore." And then the thing was like, I was like, ooh, no, thank you. Have you ever had a red line cross river puffer before or seen any available? I have not. Having a midlife crisis? Not that I know of. Why? What, because of the parrot thing? The parrot you wanted needs a perch. Hey! David made one up on the spot. Why did no one like the flower horn? Because he was such a cock. What's the best thing to write with when it comes to aquatics? A pencil fish? I can't cope with crickets, don't know why, they just make me anxious as hell. Crickets I'm not too bad with. When we first started keeping lizards, crickets, they didn't have silent crickets, and so the thing that did my head in was they were constantly doing this. And that was like a constant drone throughout the house, but now you can get like silent crickets. And I only buy locusts now, so locusts I feed to the leopard geckos, and I also feed to Humphrey sometimes, because he likes them as well. Yeah, I'm not a Spider-Man. I'm not good with I'm not good with spiders. What do you call a fish with no legs? A fish. I don't know why I should. I've made a mistake encouraging this, haven't I? Oh dear. Hey, there's a good one. I was hoping someone would mention that one. What's the best way to catch fish on the internet? Clickbait. No, that's not even a joke. Why did the fish cross the road? It was stapled to the chicken. Oh no. How the dwarf snakeheads, now you move them, they've gone into a kind of... When I first got them, they spent a couple of weeks hiding from me, and when I moved them, I think they've gone back into that. Nope, we're not coming out. We're in a grump. We're going to hide. They've dug up a lot more than I thought they would have done. So they've made a bit of a mess, but I'm sure they'll come round to it eventually. We can't get locusts here in the US. That's a shame. They're really good food. Dead easy to feed as well. Dead easy to gut load and make good. I keep axolotls. I love them. Yeah, I've never actually kept them, I must be honest. But they've got... I'm kind of half and half with axolotls. They look cool and they are cool, but everyone keeps telling me they're boring as hell, as in they don't do much most of the time. The kids were interested, and I keep seeing conflicting advice, and I've never bothered to actually read into it, whether they want substrate, no substrate, whether they're happy without heaters or want to be heated, and this, that and the other. But one day, they've just not quite sparked it off for me quite yet. Any more fishy puns, or should we move on to something else? We've got... I wanted to bring up maintenance routines. That was the thing. So Paul H on Discord had asked in the Discord live stream video ideas section, so you can go in there, and if there's something you want to discuss on the live stream, stick it in there and we'll probably discuss it. Have you spoken about maintenance routines? I do 50% changes weekly, but previously only did 10%. I know others do changes bi-weekly or monthly. My shrimp tanks only have small changes so as not to upset parameters. I know it's not a one-size-fits-all. And I think that last sentence is the key here, so let me see. In fact, let's go on little face. Move that over there so you can see it. Right, there we go. Sorry, me witchy ways. I'll need to get rid of that so you can read it. So here is... God, sometimes you'd think I didn't work with computers. There you go. Oh, idiot. Come on, Graham, you can do this. So down here was I just read it out. I don't know why I felt I had to show you as well. Have you spoken about maintenance routines? I do 50%, used to do 10%. Bi-weekly, monthly. Shrimp tanks only have small changes so as to not upset the water parameters. I know it's not a one-size-fits-all. It isn't, and that's the key to it. So as a discus keeper, I've been indoctrinated into, you must do 100% water changes every 2 days or else your discus will die. And it's nonsense. So I've gone from doing daily water changes from 20% every day. I've gone to 50% twice a week, to 50% once a week, 50% once a fortnight, 20% every other week. There's just... I've not noticed anything beneficial one way over the other. And again, I think it's that one size fits all mentality. I don't think one size does fit all. If you're struggling or having problems, I was talking to someone earlier today who was having problems with their discus. 99% of the time, for me, do a few large water changes in quick succession. That solves most problems. Obviously, if it's an actual, it's got a parasite or it's got a specific disease or something like that, that's not going to do anything. But most my fish isn't looking right problems are solved by doing water changes. But there's an old adage about you don't keep discus, you keep water. So as long as you keep your water right, and it goes for every fish, as long as you keep your water right, you could be overdoing it with water changes. And that's not to say you don't need to do them. It's a good habit. You will fall out of doing checks if you think, I can get away for 2 weeks. You'll leave it 3 weeks. If you think I can get away with 20%, you'll do 10%. If I can get away with 1 a week rather than 2, you'll do 1 a fortnight. It's the human nature that you will always go a little bit easier. So if you can get into a habit of some kind of routine that suits you and you can prove with data that it works, that's the perfect water change routine. So for me, the perfect water change routine is different to the house than it is to the fish room. So in the fish room, the perfect water change routine for me is a drip fed system. I don't really care how many percent it changes. As long as it's changing water and I don't have to think about it and I don't have to remember to go and do a water change, I'm happy. I will naturally get around most of them often enough to do manual water changes. That'll reset tanks, that'll make sure the drip's not getting... Because there's a declining graph of how effective drip water changes are. But for me, that's the holy grail for me is don't have to do water changes, don't have to think about it, don't have to remember to do it in the house. And I'm going to call myself a liar now, but in the house it's pick a day and that's the day I do water changes. So it used to be Sundays. I'd come and I'd change the water in this tank, I'd do the water in my daughter's tank. If I had my big tank running, I'd do the water in that tank. I'm not doing my own standards now, but that's kinda the perfect maintenance routine for me is one that you can make a routine, one that you can stick to. It's not one that you think, I'm going to set some unrealistic goals and do it 1 out of 3 times, because inconsistency is where you get hurt. So I would ignore all these people on the internet that say you must do this. As long as you can do whatever works for you and you can prove with data by doing water tests that your parameters are staying good, that's the perfect water change routine. And I'll leave it at that. Pardon me. Sorry, where did I get to? Axolotls. Freshwater Ichthyology is joining us. Hope you're enjoying your night shift. Nice to see you. I've seen some big axolotls out there. People really underestimate their adult size. I didn't know how big they get, I must be completely honest. Kaylee, you've missed the Kaylee wheel. That's why she didn't win. Do you think there's a farmer somewhere called George Fishkeeper? Luke's off to bed. Have a good weekend, everyone. Don't forget your water changes, if that is when you do them. I use a drip system that changes water about 75% over the week. Yeah, and if that works for you, that's fine. I wouldn't try and hit that myself because I think that's too much water. Rather than it's not going to be bad for the fish, but it's going to cost me by changing that because I'm on a water meter, and I don't want to have to recycle that amount of water. My day's Saturday. Sometimes I find motivation in the week and do another one. I'm a bit like that myself, because at the moment I haven't got that drip system going, so I will go down to the garage most days, but most days I'll be going down to do a specific job. It'll be, right, I'm going to set up this brine shrimp hatchery, or right, I'm going to move the fish from that tank to that tank, and while I'm there I'll do a change on a tank. I try and always do one on my discus tanks. I try and do like a huge change once a week, because they're still fairly new tanks and the parameters do creep up a little bit because they're quite heavily stocked tanks. But other than that, I'm just kind of doing them as and when. So I really want to get, I say I really want to get it. If I really wanted to do it, I would just do it. But I really want to get the automatic water change system up, but so many other jobs getting in the way. Degenerate Fishkeeper, depths unknown. There's a name. For those of you who are new, we are doing fish puns this evening, so if you have any good fish puns, let us know. We've got 7 minutes left before I'm going to have to go and then put my dinner on, because I've not even had my dinner yet. And I don't think my wife heard me, so I haven't even cooked my dinner yet. Is your drain system up and running now for water changing? Yes, so my water change system at the moment is still fairly manual, but every tank in the fish room I drain into a water butt. That water butt has a sump pump, quite a powerful sump pump in it, which pumps water through a pipe under the house, out the back of the house, up a bit of a hill, and into a big IBC tote container, and then we use that on the garden. If you haven't, there's a video about it, if you haven't seen it. Edited by the wonderful Callum. Callum also edited the snakehead video, so if you think those are better than normal, that's why. Someone else did it. Let's find that video for you, and I can give the link. I didn't mean to press that button. Why can't I operate computers whenever I'm being watched? If you want to see my water change solution, check that out. Oh dear. What turns a fish on? A fish finger. Oh, it's made me do Muttley impressions. Oh dear. Oh, boom boom. Disgusting. Oh, you people will be the death of me. Oh dear, Lewis. Oh dear. Nope, that doesn't deserve one. Right, we need to have one more good fish pun before we call it a night. And when we do call it a night, I want to remind you all that we have the Discord server up there. If you want a prize, email me and tell me where to send it. If you want to continue on your YouTube journey this evening, you can go and watch the Cold Water Aquatic stream, which Scott, if he's still around, will no doubt be putting into chat anytime now. I'd just like to say thank you to everyone for cheering me up with all your fish puns. They were quite good. Some of them were better than others. Join us next week, because I'm going to be doing more farting about with my Stream Deck and with games and things where I have a bit of a more interactive stream for us. I might even try and plan something in advance, so we have things to talk about. Who knows? Other than that, watch a video, click a link, click a like, click a share, click a clicky thing, click, 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 click. That's all you need to do. And yeah, keep watching the videos. It means more than you know. It inflates my delicate ego to know that some people like to watch my videos every now and again. So thank you for joining me, everyone. I hope you have a lovely weekend. We'll no doubt have a video out Saturday or Sunday. I've filmed at least half of it so far, so hopefully we'll get there. And until then, enjoy yourself. Oh, Lewis, someone's already done that joke. Have a good weekend, folks. See you in the next one. Bye!